So, Sue, how are you? I can't remember what the date is. It's now sort of like it's Thursday in the middle of August. What is the date? 13th?
I'm just looking, it's the 13th.
It's the 13th. So, it's been a couple of weeks since we spoke. How are you?
Oh, do you know, really good. Had a good holiday in the Lake District, almost a staycation there, isn't it? Lots of adventure, lots of fun and laughing. You can't complain about that. How about you?
Well, I've been here. I haven't been away yet. I'm going in a couple of weeks. And so I've been in this world of what's going on in dentistry. And it is a bit like same day, same stuff. It's pretty groundhog, I think. And it's not that great. So, I mean, if we're going to really talk about what's going on, and I do feel for those people in practice, that fallow time is just looming over us. There's still no guidance. And then 2 days ago, you may not have heard about this, but the WHO has made an announcement that they pretty much think everything is an AGP and patients worldwide should not be receiving anything other than emergency treatment. So things are not great at the moment. So yeah. So we need to bring some love and excitement and positivity.
Yeah, I think you're right, you do, because every time dentists are waiting for guidance that helps us, it either doesn't come or something comes that seems to make it even worse.
Yeah.
And it must be so disheartening being in practice at the moment, whatever you do in the team. And you're right, I think we need to look at how we can introduce some positives. What are we going to help people with today? We won't focus on those negatives because everyone's talking about those all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's a bit like a seesaw, and the seesaw's going this way. So what can we do to write it that way? And look at that gorgeous smile on your face. And I think that they're the sorts of things that do create the balance and bring things back into order. So for you, what is it that puts a smile on your face?
Yeah. Do you know what? Spreading positivity, spreading happiness. I like to go into somewhere, and you'll think this is a bit strange, where someone's looking miserable and grumbling, and I almost take it as a challenge upon myself to make them smile, change their state, make them happy. And it works. And it doesn't take very much. Sometimes it's a word of kindness. Sometimes it's a recognition of what we're going through. Sometimes it's a random thing like saying thanks. Anything like that changes people to smiling and happy.
Absolutely. And the thing I like about doing that, smiling, and they do say, don't they, that the fastest way to get thumped is to thump somebody. The fastest way to get a smile is to give a smile. And when you smile at somebody, it affects two people, maybe even more of that, because it then just spreads.
I think that's absolutely right. So it might be people at work, it might be people you just randomly interact with, somebody in the street, somebody in a shop, somebody on a video conference when there's lots of you on.
Yeah.
Anything like that
Absolutely.
Works really well. And sometimes little random gifts, thank you cards, that type of thing. When did you last thank the people in your team for what they do? Somebody said to me one day, I don't say thank you to my team because I pay them to do these things.
Wow.
Interesting attitude.
Wow.
And my response to that was, suspend disbelief for a moment and just try saying thank you and see what happens.
Yeah.
It's a huge difference.
Yeah, it was really interesting you say that. I can remember doing a training with a practice once, and almost without exception, the team members said they felt undervalued.
Yeah.
And the principal was on the edge of his seat, and I could see he was firing looks at me of, like, don't go here, because I then asked every single member of the team, what is it you want? And he was petrified that they were all going to ask for a pay rise. And they all said things like, I wish somebody would look me in the eye and say good morning. I wish that they would just say thank you for today. Have a good evening. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that sense of feeling valued, part of something, to the team that I'm working with, and may not be the same for every single team, but I suggest that it is a very common thing, that actually that sense of worth, the sense of being seen, is more important than a pay rise.
And do you think now, with all the challenges we've got in dentistry, and we have those financial and business challenges as well, that it's even more important that we say to people in the team, oh, well done. That was a tricky day today. It's been blooming hot.
Yeah.
And we've all had the various PPEs on, and we've all had to remember what we're doing in the SOP. We've all had to stop and think if there's going to be an EGP. We can't just launch into
Absolutely.
it. Would it be really helpful at the end of the day to say, oh, do you know what, well done. That was a really difficult day, and we've all got through it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it might be one of those things that you just, at lunchtime, go out and buy the rest of your team an ice lolly. Just do something small. And I think what's really important with this is the intent with which it's done. Because if we intend to bring a smile to somebody's face, intend to make them feel happy, that's very different than I'm doing this because actually it might get me out of giving you a pay rise. People will know the difference. And it's that intent behind it. I'm doing this because actually I want to see you smile. I want to see you happy. And yeah, thinking about that. And it doesn't need to cost very much.
It absolutely doesn't if you go and get some ice pops or something like that. If
Absolutely.
somebody buys you an ice pop on a hot day, how do you feel?
Absolutely. And I think the other thing is that about people keep talking about face masks and saying, oh, I don't know what's going on. And I understand if somebody's deaf and they lip read, I get that that's a real challenge. And yet, if I'm smiling, I can tell from your eyes that you're smiling. And they're not hidden by the face mask.
Yeah.
So I can still smile. And I can hear on the phone whether you're smiling or not.
Actually, that's a really good tip. And I often say that when I'm training people. Try and stand up when you're on the phone, as you're always saying, stand up and smile. And the person on the other end, they can't see you, but they can feel it.
Absolutely.
And you feel so much better as well.
Absolutely. You can hear a smile. Yeah.
Oh, and there's another thing. You mentioned people there who normally lip read, and I don't know how they're managing at the moment with everybody with masks on. There's a thing you can get on your mobile. It's called Google Transcribe. Have you seen it?
No.
So you talk and you hold your mobile up, or somebody else holds it up for you, and it types what you're saying.
Oh, wow, okay.
With some varying degree of accuracy, which might give you some entertainment as well.
Yeah, but hey, that will put a smile on somebody's face because we will laugh.
Yeah. And even better, the patient can do it on their phone and hold it, so you're not infecting anything, touching anything that you shouldn't be touching. And as you said, there's a bit of a laugh involved with it as well.
And isn't that important at the moment, to bring that lightness, bring that humour, bring that humanity back to what's going on and spread it around.
Yeah, and I think it's also worth reminding everyone in the team and patients that, you know what, we're all doing the best we can.
Yeah.
It's not going to be perfect every time, and that's why there has to be a bit of a laugh and a bit of give and take, but everyone's doing the best they can. And that helps to rise the positivity as well.
Yeah. And I think that, well, I'm going to presuppose from your line of work that dealing with complaints that often is to do with unmatched expectations. The patient expects something up here and the dentist is only able to deliver this, or they've promised that but only delivered here. So it's that not matching expectations. And I think this is going to be really important at the moment, just to say to the patients, look, we are working in difficult situations, that there's rules that we have to fulfill. We are going to do the best we can. And I do acknowledge that sometimes conversations are difficult when people have got an expectation and we can't fulfill it. And matching body language and pacing them is going to be really powerful. And actually, we might not be able to see what's going on in this section here, and we can match and mirror patients' body language, whether they're on a video screen or whether they're here face to face. And that is going to really, really, really help your communication.
You're spot on. It's about getting them on side. It's about building rapport. But you've heard me say before, the more rapport you've got with the patient, the more leeway they'll give you if something doesn't quite work out as they expected.
Yeah.
And the more you have that discussion, the more you'll find out what their expectations are anyway. And don't forget, there's some patients coming in now, we treatment planned them ages ago, pre-COVID, when we could deliver certain things that now we can't. Yeah. So I think that's important as well. So I'd say the number one tip is manage their expectations and build rapport.
Build rapport, absolutely. And build rapport, for those of you that are watching, it's not really about remembering when patient went on holiday. It's not remembering the name of their dog. It's not remembering their wedding anniversary. They might help, but rapport is becoming as much like them as possible, whether it's through our body language, whether it's our tone of voice, whether it's the words that we use. And the idea is that we become like them. That when we're in tune with them in their map of the world, and we understand life from their perspective, then we can lead them into a different world. Now, it may not be our perspective. It may be a new place that's new to the pair of us. Yeah. But that expression about walking, when you've walked 1,500 miles in somebody else's moccasins, but we've got to go there first.
Yeah, absolutely. And while we're going there, and while we're building rapport and getting them used to us and we're getting used to them, that's the time we can be smiling, we can be saying nice things. It all works, and it all makes us feel good as well.
Absolutely.
And the more you feel good, the more it comes over to patients as well. You've seen it yourself. Do you remember in the past when you used to be allowed to go out to places?
Yeah.
And you'd go out and you'd meet some of your friends. You could tell as soon as you walked in the room if they've had an argument before you come in. They don't have to say anything and you can tell. Similarly, you turn that round, you can tell if they're smiling and happy before they even said anything as well. Patients can tell that in our practice.
Yeah.
So the more we can get our teams happy and smiling, the more it works to our advantage as well. And you feel better.
Yeah. And random acts of kindness.
Oh, love it. I love it. I'm glad you mentioned that, actually. And some of them are such small things, and it makes a huge difference. When we first went into lockdown, we've got a house up in the Lake District at the moment. Unfortunately, my father passed away. We're looking after that house, and there's lots of neighbours that are my father's friends. And we sent them all cards saying, hope you're doing okay during the lockdown. That's all it took, just a nice card that said that. I've been up there just now, and they're so happy to have received that. Oh, it made my day, and I keep reading your card, and I like the picture that you chose for me. How good is that?
It's incredible. It's infectious. So similarly, I had a friend that was having a difficult time not going out, and I knew on one occasion she wasn't going to be in our house, and I turned up with some kale plants. Oh my goodness me, she was so excited that I had just turned up and left them there. And again, random acts of kindness don't need to be big, expensive gestures. It could be just a handwritten note just put through the door to say, I'm thinking of you. A little text just to say, how you're doing today.
That's absolutely it. And the other person knows that you've thought of them.
And that's the key
It
thing.
doesn't cost anything, it doesn't take too long. It works. You know, and sometimes people will say, well, can I do something for you? And I will often say, then, do you know what? When the time's right, just pay it forward.
Absolutely.
Do something for someone who needs it.
Yeah. And that film, have you seen that? You must have seen that film, Pay It Forward.
Do you know what? I don't think I have.
Oh my goodness me. My random act of kindness to you, Sue, and anybody else watching, is when you get a chance, watch that film, Pay It Forward. And it is such a simple, powerful film that the tears of joy that I have every time I watch it. And I can remember one day that I was due to do a staff meeting, and I just couldn't think of what to do. And so we got the team together and we sat down and watched a film as our staff meeting. But the principle is this: pass it on. That I do one kind thing to one person, and that person does that one kind thing to 3 other people. And each of those 3 people then do a kind thing to 3 other people. And that's how we spread these random acts of kindness, by just multiplying things 3 times.
You know, I was looking at one of the California university courses the other day, and it's about positivity, it's about neuropsychology, that sort of thing. And basically what you've described is what they're testing at the moment.
Oh, really?
So that's actually really interesting. I'll see if I can send you the link for it.
And they're testing it for what? In what way in particular?
Positive changes in people's brains, and they actually measure levels of anxiety and depression before and afterwards and that sort of thing, and they're looking for positive changes. So that's the simple way of describing it. I'm sure it's much more complex than that.
And I'm going to presuppose from experience, I'm much more of an experiential person than a facts and figures person. I am going to presuppose that the results will show that random acts of kindness not only make the giver feel better, as well as the recipient. So I would imagine. I mean, what's your experience? Does it work both ways for you?
Yeah, absolutely it does. Yeah. And to a certain extent, I think sometimes the giver gets more from it as well. Because sometimes someone might receive something and not feel the need to say anything about it, or maybe they're embarrassed, or they don't know what to say.
Yeah.
So you just know that having done it, you feel better.
Absolutely. And but then I can go off into a little rabbit hole about actually, why is it that we need science to prove what we actually know?
Oh, that's a whole new question, isn't it?
It is.
And some people, when you're teaching something new, they want to know all the science behind it. And other people say, no, just show me. Just show me and tell me.
That's me. Yeah, don't bother with the numbers. Just get on and do it.
You need to be ready for both, I think.
Yeah, does it work? Okay.
I'll show you.
Yeah, so that's one thing, that my presentations are quite light on the numbers. But there we go.
Yep.
Anyway, so ahead of speaking next time. So it's going to be random acts of kindness. And what else does the next week or so hold for you?
Oh, goodness knows, Jane. I'm still doing some podcasts and putting those together. I think Two Wise Birds, I think it's the time for us to look at podcasts.
Okay, okay.
So I'll be chatting to you about that
Okay.
offline, maybe.
Okay, fantastic.
We have some new things. Pushing our adventure zone, I think, Jane.
Oh, yes!
Yeah. So, positivity for everybody this week. Give it a go.
Give
See
it a
if
go.
it helps you, and let us know.
Yes, let us know what happens. Let us know what you did and the impact. And also, let us know what you want us to talk about. And we're happy to oblige. Fantastic. See you all anon.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.